Hello again and welcome to the Warhammer 40k Imperial Guard Tactics video. So today I'm finally doing the Start Collecting Imperial Guard Guide Part 2, which is the visual side of that Start Collecting Guide. So in the first video I just talked through how for less than £100 you can get, that's if you're buying it purely from Games Workshop. I mean, if you want to buy it from third-party sites and get it a bit cheaper, you can do. But how you can get a 500 point completely legal Imperial Guard force for less than £100. And I'm finally today going to show you visually, just to make it a little bit easier to understand, how you get that force. Okay, how you get 500 points for 100 quid basically. So what we have here in front of us at the moment is what you can build with your Start Collecting box set plus 3 additional big bases from Games Workshop. So like I said, the infantry part is the bit that confuses a lot of people. Now the first thing I want to say is you want to go and buy 3 of these big bases from Games Workshop. They cost £3. That's actually a really good deal. You'll struggle to find that even better on eBay. You just want 3 bases, £3, Games Workshop can't complain. Now, as I said in the video, you're going to be wanting to use pretty much every guy in this box set to build special and heavy weapons. Okay, you don't really want to be building any basic riflemen. Now, like I said, the first 2 special weapons that I'd recommend are grenade launchers. Okay, they are solid weapons, and especially this, a year on from when I made, almost a year on from when I made that first video, grenade launchers have been making a bit of a comeback just because they don't overheat like plasma and they're still quite cheap. Now, anyway, grenade launchers, 2 grenade launchers is what you want to build. You also, like I said, want to build 2 sergeants. Okay, last pistol chainsword, don't go too fancy on those guys. Now, as I said in that video, let's take a look at the first one. You want to build 1 heavy weapon with a las cannon, and you're going to use 1 of the guys which is kneeling down, and then you're going to use 1 of your rifles to make the second guy for that team. Now, obviously I've got this guy on a base, but I'm just balancing him on, but you could just glue him on there like that, okay, without the base. So that's how you make 1 heavy weapon team. Second heavy weapon team, like I said, you're going to use 2 riflemen. Now you see how I've used the rocket launcher shoulder pad there, and I've made it so the rocket launcher is on that guy's shoulder like that. You see, now he's aiming at the rocket launcher, and I've just used another rifleman and I've just stuck that to the base, and you see that is a very cool looking heavy weapon team. Okay, so we've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of our 12 models, and we've only used 1 of the guys from the heavy weapon crew. Okay, now we're then going to use, I use a heavy bolter as an example in the original video, but I've got an autocannon one here, and if you look, I've just got a standing up guy, and it looks from a distance you can't really tell the difference, but if you actually look, it's just an autocannon which is literally just glued on his arms, and they're actually 2 lasgun arms. You see, one might be a grenade launcher arm or a heavy weapon or a flamer arm, but it doesn't really matter. You get two arms, and you just glue the autocannon or heavy bolt on like that, and it just looks like he's carrying it, he's just about to deploy it. Okay, and then we've got the second kneeling down guy here. Okay, so then we've used 8 members of the infantry squad we get with the Start Collecting, and we've used the 2 kneeling down guys. And as you guys may have seen earlier, here's my mortar. Very simple. Now, I did say in the original video you could have the mortar just strapped over the guy's back. That's absolutely fine. With the existing models I had in my collection, I was able to build it so that each one's got a mortar in his hand, and one guy is pointing and one guy's doing that with his arm there. But like I said, you could very easily just have that slung over someone's back. Speaking of having weapons slung over backs, here's an example. Now, I don't really have a mortar as an example, but you can see what I've done with this missile launcher. Literally, it's just slung over the guy's back. Okay, so that means if you wanted to, you could have the missile launcher over a guy's back. You could have the mortar slung over a guy's back, and you can actually, there is a way where you can get heavy bolters like sort of on people's shoulders, but in this example we'll just stick to what I said in that original video, which is you can have weapons slung over people's backs. So, from the start collecting kit plus a £3 base set, this is what we've managed to build so far. 2 grenade launchers, 2 sergeants, and 4 heavy weapons, right? So now, let's look at putting all these bits together, plus a couple of extra boxes, and making that 500 point legal force. What is the next step? So the next thing you want to go and do is to go and buy yourself 4 of the Kadian Snap Fit Guardsman boxes. Not much more to say about these. They don't come with any special weapons of any kind. The models are kind of limited and a little bit difficult to convert. So you will basically be stuck with 20 riflemen. That's exactly what you need. You need those 20 riflemen to help bulk out your squads and to create that sweet, sweet 500 point battalion. Now, once again, just a little disclaimer. These are just guardsmen I picked out randomly from my collection. Not all of these are snap fit, but the point is that if you buy 4 of those boxes, you will get 20 guardsmen, 5 men in each box. So let's take a look at the third step you need to take. So the third and pretty much final step you need to take in terms of building models and buying them is you need to buy yourself a little Kadian command squad. Okay. Now, as I said in the video, how you want to build this is you want to build 1 guy with a melter gun, 1 guy with a plasma gun, 1 guy with a regimental standard, 1 guy with a las pistol and chainsword. He's just going to be a basic guy. And then you want to build your officer. And I said you had a bit of leeway with how you wanted to build this guy. In this case, I've just built one with a bolt pistol and power sword. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to build your 3 infantry squads. As I said, that's the key. So we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our snap fit guardsmen. Okay. And then we go and give them 1 of the melter guns. And the reason we do this, as I explained in the video, is because melter guns on guardsmen are cheaper than if you put them on veterans, which is the command squad guys. Okay, so you put the melter gun in there, and then you take 1 of your sergeants that you built from your start collecting box set, you put him in there as well, and then you add 1 of your heavy weapons. So in this case, we're going to add a las cannon. Okay, so that's 1 squad already. Then guess what? We're going to do the same thing again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then guess what? We're going to take a plasma gun. Because as I said in the video, in the first video, plasma guns are cheaper on regular guardsmen than they are on veterans. Okay. Now obviously this video to sort of stand the test of time. And in future editions maybe this won't be the case, but still you're getting the idea, aren't you? 6 riflemen, special weapon, sergeant, heavy weapon. Okay, so look, the second sergeant that we built from our start collecting box set goes in there, and guess what? We're going to put the missile launcher in there, because look what we've got now. We've got 2 pretty decent anti-tank squads. Anti-tank gun, anti-tank gun, anti-tank gun, well, anti-everything gun really, anti-tank gun. So there we go. And we build the third squad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But remember, we don't have another special weapon at this point that we want to use, so we're going to put a 7th rifleman in there, and then we're going to go to our command squad. And remember, we built that basic guy, las pistol and chainsword. We're going to take him from the command squad. We're going to bring him here, and oh look, boom, he's now a sergeant. And then guess what we're going to do? We're going to take this heavy weapon. It could be the mortar, could be the autocannon. It doesn't matter. We're going to take the heavy weapon. I'm going to put that there. Boom. Look at that. 3 infantry squads. The core of any Imperial Guard army. So then we're going to take a look at the models we have left over. We have 1 heavy weapon left over. We've got a couple of grenade launchers left over. We have a regimental standard, and we have a las gun left over. Now, unfortunately, there isn't any way to take a 6-man squad in the Imperial Guard with this configuration. Okay, which is something that didn't really get mentioned in the first part of the video, so that's why I'm bringing it up here. But what you can do with these guys is you can essentially use them to make a command squad in a variety of configurations. So maybe you want a command squad that really focuses on long range firepower. So you take yourself a couple of grenade launchers and an autocannon, because command squads are for veterans. There you go. Maybe you want a command squad which adds more of a buff to your leadership. You, like I said in that video, your Kadians are only leadership 7. You might need a flag. Now you do have your Lord Commissar, who's good for leadership, but he can't be everywhere. He can't be everywhere, and he might die. You could take this grenade launcher and put it in this squad over here, and then you've just got a couple of lasgun guys left over. You know, you've got options, but basically those last 6 models you can use to play around with. And what they're really there for, in the video what I use them for, I use them to make a command squad. And I think that's a good thing you should do. You should use them to make a command squad. But guess what? You could very easily, if you're going to have about two riflemen left over. Okay? Now you could use those 2 riflemen to replace, you know, the non-snap fit guys you've got. So if you imagine, you put this snap fit guy here, and suddenly you've got yourself a multi-part guardsman. Now you don't have to build this guy with the lasgun. You could take the some of the bits from the command squad box, and you could build yourself another officer from this guy, a junior officer. And again, you could take another one of the snap fit guys, put him on here. You'd have yourself another full multi-purpose guardsman. And you could, like I said, with these 2 models, you could make a lot of conversions or give yourself some weapon options. You're going to have like snipers, medics, things left over from your command squad box. You're going to have things like flamers left over from your infantry squad boxes. Basically, and this is something I didn't mention in this video, so I really wanted to make a point of it in this second part, is you're going to have quite easily 2 guardsmen left over. Okay? And you can use those 2, you could just use them as spares. Maybe one day you just want a really cheap mobile command squad. There you go. Easy peasy. Maybe you just want them for redundancy. But if you want to squeeze every point out of it, you could easily turn one of these guys into a junior officer, one of these guys into, you know, maybe another commissar, or, you know, you've got loads of different options you can do with these. So maybe just make 2 more junior officers. Boom. You know, there's loads of different options that you can do with these 2 guys. Personally, you know, I wouldn't say it's a bad option to give you some of these guys maybe a special weapon, one of them an extra special weapon like a sniper rifle, and one of them turn into a junior officer. And I think that would be a good idea, because then you'd have 1 senior officer and a junior officer, if we imagine it like that, and that's 3 orders you've got, and you've got 3 squads. So that works out really, really well. So there you go, guys. So if you follow the advice that I give you and you go and buy 1 start collecting box set, 3 snap fit guardsman boxes, 1 extra set of bases, and 1 Kadian command squad, then you will be able to build yourself 500 points. Now there have been a few point changes. Lord Commissars have got a bit cheaper now. So you're probably looking at about 450 points here. So having these 2 extra guys and building them as a couple of extra officers, it's not a bad idea. That would get you back up to your 500 points. So there you go. You're at the very least, you'll have 1, 2, 3 squads, a command squad, a Lord Commissar, a tank, and a company commander. And that will very easily set you up with a solid core of infantry and a tank and support elements. So there you go. Hope you guys have found this video useful, and I'll see you guys next time.